Are you intelligent? What does intelligence even mean? And why do we care so much about it? Have you ever needed to prove your intelligence? And if so, what was the purpose? Hi, I am Tamara Richter, and this is The School Crisis, a channel where we talk about learning and education. Today, we're gonna talk about intelligence. Why do we care that much? These questions aren't just personal, they're social. Intelligence is a concept that we have elevated, we have idealized, we have given it so much value as a measure of worth and success. But where does this obsession come from? Why has intelligence become so tied to our identities and opportunities in life? The idea of intelligence as a measurable trait gained relevance during the Enlightenment. Thinkers like John Locke or Immanuel Kant began exploring the human mind, focusing on reason as a hallmark of intelligence. But it wasn't until the beginning of the 20th century, with the rise of the IQ test, that intelligence became a tool for categorizing people. Alfred Binet, who developed the first intelligence test, intended them to help identify children who needed extra support in schools. By the 20th century, IQ tests were being used to rank individuals, sort students, and even justify policies rooted in eugenics. Intelligence became a gatekeeper for success, a way to define who deserves access to resources, education, and opportunities. Gardner identified at least 8 types of intelligence, including linguistic, logical mathematical, musical, bodily kinesthetic, spatial, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. He reminds us there are many ways of being successful, many ways of using our brain and creativity. We can do it through finding beauty, through art, through music, through being with others, communicating with ourselves, communicating with nature. There's so many ways we can relate to the world and we can bring worth to the world. Sir Ken Robinson built on this idea, arguing that intelligence is also dynamic and deeply tied to creativity and imagination. In his iconic TED Talk, Robinson explains how schools many times punish creativity and imagination by only focusing on numbers and standardized tests. He believed kids were learners by nature and they had this natural curiosity that many times was punished at schools. He reminded us that creativity isn't a luxury, isn't only for the artistic. It's a vital form of intelligence that helps us solve problems, innovate, and adapt to a changing world. Solving rational problems isn't the only way of being intelligent. In 1990, Daniel Goleman introduced the concept of emotional intelligence, changing the way we think about what it means to be smart. Unlike IQ, that measures cognitive ability, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand our own emotions and understand others. It's a way of being in the world. According to Goleman, emotional intelligence has 5 core components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. These are abilities that help us navigate relationships, manage stress, and work effectively with others. But when you think about emotional intelligence at schools, how can you teach someone how to understand their emotions? Maybe using the same blackboard and frontal version of a teacher is not enough. Think about this. Where have you learned to understand your emotions? Emotional intelligence reminds us that being smart is not just about thinking, it's about feeling too. While traditional forms of intelligence often focus on abstract problem solving, Robert Sternberg introduced the idea of practical intelligence, sometimes called street smart. Sternberg's theory of practical intelligence highlights the skills we use every day to adapt, make decisions, and achieve goals, whether it's managing a budget, fixing a broken appliance, or navigating social dynamics. Practical intelligence is what helps us succeed outside the classroom. It isn't something you can measure in standardized tests, yet it's crucial for navigating life's challenges. It bridges the gap between what you know and how you use that knowledge in a meaningful way. So, why has intelligence become so important? Historically, intelligence was linked to survival, our ability to adapt, innovate, and thrive as a species. But in modern times, it became a social and economic gatekeeper, shaping who gets access to education, careers, and power. Our obsession with intelligence often reflects deeper social values, like efficiency, competition, and success. But this narrow focus can exclude forms of intelligence that don't fit the traditional molds. What if we redefine intelligence, not as a single trait, but a spectrum of abilities? I would love to hear your definitions of intelligence and what role should it play on how we value ourselves and others.